Some players find time to get healthy with a few days off. Kevin Durant from Oklahoma City said this about feeling better.
It's a long journey, and it takes a lot of mental toughness to really get back to this level, and I had a lot of help, from friends and family, my teammates, just always encouraging me every single day, and I just try to work as hard as I can, man, and it's just been amazing.
All-Star Game is on Sunday, just the competitions on Saturday night. In the meantime, Matt Forte is done in Chicago after 8 big seasons, and apparently a couple of teams have interest, not a surprise. New England, Green Bay, and Denver among the teams that could have interest in the 30-year-old running back. Also, leftovers from the Super Bowl, the Broncos' Aqib Talib was fined over $26,000 for Super Bowl 50 penalties. Kate Delaney, NBC Sports Radio.
This is KCAA.
Here's all you need to know. There's a new cool way to sell your unwanted stuff online. It's buysellmakeoffer.com. Buysellmakeoffer.com. You're not going to believe it. Join the legions of web sellers and buyers who are turning to buysellmakeoffer.com today. Never pay fees again. For low monthly membership of $7.95, you can sell up to 50 items, and there's a 60-day free trial membership to get you started. You can even produce your own infomercial to sell your products and upload the video for the world to see. Go right now to buysellmakeoffer.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-643-6931 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-643-6931 to take your call now. Call 1-800-643-6931. That's 1-800-643-6931. Again, 1-800-643-6931.
Ladies and gentlemen, get ready. It's Wolfman Jack.
Sometimes I get to thinking there's just not enough love and romance left in our lives today. And that's why I like to reminisce and to relive that first feeling of love and do it all over again.
Did you boogie with your baby in the back row of the movie show?
The Wolfman's back all the way on KCAA at midnight, Friday and Saturday nights, coming in March. Don't miss the Wolfman on 1050 AM and 106.5 FM.
KCAA. In 2007, very few were able to benefit from the housing market crash. Since then, major banks like J.P. Morgan Chase, Goldman Sachs, and Deutsche Bank have been very quietly investing in what we consider to be the bank's best-kept secret. In fact, they've already amassed about $240 billion ready to move. We're talking water. It's now considered the most valuable commodity on earth, and it's finite. To find out how you may be able to make money with it, call for a free report. Dial 1-800-379-5302 and just say, send me the free water report. It's that easy. Even ex-presidents are investing in water in one way or another. By 2030, it's estimated 40% of the globe will suffer some sort of water scarcity. This is your chance to help the environment as well, potentially bank some nice profits. Get a free water wealth report now. Call 1-800-379-5302. That's 1-800-379-5302.
KCAA is your CNBC News affiliate. We're the station that gets down to business.
Welcome to I'm Mad as Hell with Lloyd Brock and Greg Simpson. Now, if you want to share your anger, this is the station, KCAA, every Saturday at 12 noon. If you're mad as hell at the government, politicians, IRS, your bank, a car dealer, or the court system, let us know. You may want to be one of our in-studio guests, or just call in and vent that anger. 1-888-909-1050 or 909-888-5222 locally. We may not be able to resolve your individual problems, but we will give you a forum to share your anger with our listeners. Now, join us at KCAA 1050 AM and at kcaaradio.com or check us out at Ustream. Now, here's Lloyd and Greg.
Not gonna take it anymore. That's right. I'm mad as hell.
You're mad as hell again?
Every time I come and read the newspaper or watch the news, you get that mad as hell.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me the other day, are you always mad as hell? I said, no.
You're easy.
As long as I don't read the news.
Watch it.
But I'm mad as hell today about...
Okay, let's hear it.
Oh, jeez.
Share with
Laredo, Texas.
Okay, Texas.
They're crossing the border here by the hundreds each day.
Oh, my God.
Approved to enter the United States in a matter of hours.
Talking about coyotes?
No, we're talking about immigrants.
Immigrants, okay.
Part of the fast-rising influx of Cubans. They walk out to Laredo streets and are greeted by volunteers.
I thought we took care of that with the Marietta boat lift.
Cubans in freedom, who helped them arrange travel to their American destination, often Miami.
Miami.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
I
would
wouldn't
you?
have guessed it either.
And start applying for work permits and federal benefits like food stamps, Medicare, and hospital benefits. Available by law to Cubans immediately after they arrive. And free phones, I would imagine.
I would imagine. Good
It says the friendly reception given the Cubans, in fact, of hostile relations. We've had hostile relations with Castro in the past. There's a stark contrast with the treatment of Central American families fleeing violence in their country, and is creating tensions in this predominantly Mexican-American city, Laredo, where residents saw how Central American migrants who came in an influx in 2014 and were detained by the Border Patrol in order to appear in immigration courts. Now, the people here are starting to feel resentment. Representative Henry QLR, I don't know how
whatever
you spell
it is,
Democrat of Texas, whose congressional district includes the city. They're asking if it's fair that the Cubans get to stay and the Central Americans are being deported. What do you think? It's just, this is kind of extreme.
Yeah, it is. It seems extreme, but you know what? Immigration, people want to get into America. They're going to break in anywhere, anytime.
But we've given, we can't save the world.
That's right. We shouldn't save the world. We're not the world's savior. We've
got 2.5 million homeless children in this country.
That's mind-boggling. 2.5 million.
That's right. That's
homeless
statistic
children.
I checked. Yes.
Oh my goodness. And what do we do for them? Nothing. Why? Because
they don't get the benefits.
They sure don't. I got a doctor that said these people get benefits beyond even people with PPOs and the best insurance. Immigrants that go into the hospital get better treatment, and they have to. They're mandated because they get in trouble if they don't. Now that
I know 2 doctors that told me the same thing.
Yeah, I've been told by more than 2, but it's absolutely ridiculous. I've seen a cartoon that shows the Mexicans have the hospital as their Mexican condominiums.
Well, here again, a group of veterans from Afghanistan and Iraq held 2 protests by the border bridge in recent weeks, saying the federal government was spending money on Cubans when it was not meeting the needs of people here. Those 2.5
million homeless is
children.
Pretty bad.
We make everyone in Central America wait in line while the Cubans walk in, even though they are not refugees, said Gabriel Lopez, a Mexican-American Navy veteran who is president of a group of veterans. We are saying don't open the borders to Cubans and give them instant benefits while we have American veterans living on the streets.
Yeah, we've done it before.
I mean,
in the 80s, we did it. We let them in like
Take
that.
care of what we've got. And
Absolutely.
they just says, bring more in. Obama says,
bring
with the
in.
refugees,
Yeah.
we only were supposed to bring in 5,000. Now it's 10 and probably more.
Yeah.
200,000,
2
whatever.
million.
And we can't vet those people.
No, we can't. That's right.
And these are just walking across the border. In the coming weeks, a number of Cubans expected to spike at more than 5,000 who have been stalled in Costa Rica since last year will leave there on irregular plane flights agreed to by governments in Central America and Mexico. Already, about 12,100 Cubans entered through Laredo and other Texas border stations in the last 3 months of 2015, according to the official figures. Now, border officials say as many as 48,000 Cubans will cross here this year, more than all of those who came in the last 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
Under the Cuban Adjustment Act, a law Congress passed in 1966, in the early years of the Fidel Castro, any Cuban who sets foot in American soil is given permission to enter, known as parole.
Parole, yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was something else.
Yeah, I did too.
Come out of jail.
Yep.
Cubans are also eligible for federal welfare benefits, including financial assistance for 9 months under separate policies from 1980. After a year, they can apply for permanent residency, a gateway to citizenship. So, basically, I know if I were a Cuban, I'd probably want to get the hell out of there too. But,
of course.
We've only got, you got to take care of your own first.
That's right. You got to take care of your own first.
And we're not doing that.
We're not. That 2.5 million
kids,
homeless, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, but it said the recent exodus from Cuba began in mid-2014, even before President Obama in December of that year announced a restoration of diplomatic relationships with the government, now led by Mr. Castro's brother, Raul.
Castro by any name. Huh?
Yeah. In the major change, President Raul Castro allowed Cubans to leave the country without exit visas.
Yeah.
And we've got a call on line 2. So is this in reference to that? Hello? No? Oh, you got 2 minutes. I see. I still want calls.
Yeah. Call.
1-909-888-5222.
Or 1-888-909-1050 if you're out of this area.
And the rumors are unfounded, it says about that they're going to cause a problem. This is the Cuban Adjustment Act is still in effect as part of the overall immigration policy, and there is no intent to presently change that. Now we have, as they say, at the border, Cubans are fingerprinted and pass through a routine criminal and terrorist background checks. There is no special vetting for Cubans, and there are no medical examinations or vaccinations required.
Yeah, how are they telling the difference
They
between
don't
a
have
Colombian
TB
and a Cuban and a Mexican? I don't understand that.
Well, a lot of them probably don't have ID either. Right now, I feel like the freest Cuban in the whole world, said Rodney, 39, a coach for a Cuban national women's water polo team. And he said, this week, the first direct flights from northern Costa Rica to Mexico City, just across the border, brought more than 300 Cubans, including at least 41 pregnant women and their families. More anchor babies.
Yeah.
But, of course, they could... We got a break for a commercial now, but we'll be right back.
Okay.
With this very same subject.
Good. It's a good subject.
Wow, am I thirsty. Whoa.
Are you really?
Yes.
I think you should come up to Oak Hills Brewing Company, home of the best brews in the high desert.
High desert? That's where I'm from.
Oh, do you know Floyd?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Say
His
hello
brother
to-
Lloyd. Yeah,
Yes.
I know him.
Say hello to Floyd. Founded by two entrepreneurs, these big dreams turned into Oak Hills Brewing Company. They have yummy brews, select ales, craft sodas, root beer, ginger ale, and cream soda for the kids.
How many?
How many kids?
No, how
I don't
many
care.
brews?
I don't care how many kids come up.
Oh, okay.
They have 3 brews
Okay.
for kids. Then they have 13 brews for adults.
Oh, love it. Love it. Love it.
I'm glad. Oak Hills Brewing. Mondays, 5 to 9. Thursdays, 3 to 9. Friday, 1 to 10. And Saturday, 1 to 10. Oak Hills Brewing Company.
I'm going up right now.
Do you know how to get there?
Yeah, almost.
Okay, well, let me just make sure. 15 north to the 395, past 2 signals, turn right on Poplar, and you're there. OakHillsBrewing.com.
On my way.
Once again, here's Lloyd and Greg.
Yep, that's pretty good brew up there.
Is it?
I've been there. Yeah, it's
Okay.
really good.
I'm still anxious to try their cream soda. That's,
the water is terrific up there.
Is
and
it?
that's what makes good beer.
oh, sure.
You got that, and the brewmaster is second to none. I mean, he can make anything. He even had a chocolate ale that he made
really?
for Valentine's Day last year. I don't know if he did it this year, but you might go down there and try that
I
out.
might. Does it kick
Oak
like
Hills? Yeah, Oak Hills Brewing in Hesperia.
Does it kick like a real
No,
beer,
it's
or
got
is
a,
it
just
kinda
a
more
faint,
subtle?
a subtle hint of chocolate, and it was surprisingly good.
Oh, good.
And somebody said he should have brewed this all along. I don't know if he did this year, but go down there and find out.
Sure, I'll try that.
Okay, getting back to this immigration thing, especially from Cuba. As I say, there were 41 out of the 300 Cubans that came in this week. 41 were pregnant women. And one of them, was just, she was commenting, she's a civil engineer. And she said why did you come here? And he said Cuba is crumbling, the economy is. And as a civil engineer, she was earning an equivalent of $25 a month.
Yeah, boy.
So no wonder they want to come
Well,
here.
of course.
The wages are better, but I mean, still, somebody should do something over there. Maybe they should have a revolution again, like
another
they had
revolution
before,
to get
and say,
somebody
"Hey,
besides Castro.
yeah, well, it's a communist country."
Batista would be a good name.
Somebody said that's what's going to happen if we get Bernie Sanders in here. I hope not.
I hope not.
But anyway, that's a big problem there. And we've got, there was another one too here last week. I read this in the LA Times, and it's also phones issued to new immigrants.
Why not, huh?
Yeah, well, they're giving them brand new phones, and these are the people that came in from below, that they're not treating as well as they are the Cubans.
Oh, yeah.
But they said, we're going to give them brand new phones, and they give them a Galaxy 4, which is better than my phone. I've got an old Apple.
I have the same, so.
I mean, this is ridiculous.
Absolutely.
Some people say, hey, it's for tracking these people because we don't know where they are.
Right.
That's not true. They just said they could communicate. But you saw what happened. I brought this up a week ago, or 2 weeks ago, about the immigrant children that came through, and they didn't know where they were.
They didn't know where they were. Exactly.
And those kids are being abused.
Sure.
Some sexually abused, some they're using for free labor.
Yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
I'm going to be talking about that in a minute, because that's what I'm mad as hell about.
Yeah, what are you mad as hell about? That's
well,
right.
I got off there.
I got to get off of my stool
off your
here.
Stool here. Okay, I'm mad as hell about child abuse and abused children. And I'm going to start here. I'm going to start with the in the Nation, the LA Times. They reported this story about an Edward Courtney. Edward Courtney's this beast's name, and he's a member of the CFC, which is also the Christian Congregation of Christian Brothers. They use the initial CFC.
Oh, then he was a Catholic priest.
Yeah, a Catholic priest, exactly.
Oh.
But they're kind of tailing it down. But anyway, he's guilty of over 50, count that, 50 children he abused. 50. Still in the priesthood, still,
Wasn't prosecuted?
Yeah, I don't think he was he? I don't know.
I think I read about that. He escaped prosecution.
He didn't. He was not. That's what I was going to get to. He was not prosecuted. In fact, he was teaching at a school, the Christian Brothers in Seattle, the Seattle Archdiocese, and he was coaching the kids basketball. And and they told him, they says after they found out about him that 2 months later that he couldn't coach, be around the males, the kids again, the male students. And in fact, they spotted him carrying one of the male students into his residence.
Yeah.
Carrying a kid into his residence. So it seems like it's just terrible circumstance. And while I got this morning, I didn't do it justice. This guy is a predator, and he's in the church, and he's covered by the church. He's under the church's radar, and they're keeping him safe, and they're keeping him evidently keeping the kids coming like you would a starving man or something. Anyway, he's got all the kids he needs through their help.
Well, I read where I think he's 80-some years old.
He's 80. Yeah, he's 86 or 87.
He'll probably pull that mental BS and say, "Hey, I can't remember. I don't think I did." You know?
Yeah, exactly.
They should take these people who put him in that position, and they did it all over the United States. They moved these priests, and they sent them for rehab.
Yeah. And what is it, a minute rehab? We go through the
and they go back to another diocese?
Sure, and they send them someplace, and they don't tell this new diocese.
Molest more children and more children.
Sure.
These people, the monsignors, the bishops who sent them there, should go to jail.
They should, no doubt.
Those people. But probably they were guilty of the same crimes themselves.
Sure, they went through, they're just following suit. You know, it's terrible. Anyway, that's what I'm really mad as hell about. But I was also mad as hell. I was reading where people are killing their own children in some horrendous ways, like putting them in a microwave or chaining them up, duct taping them so they can't eat and they can't move around, and in a couple months dying. I was reading where many of these are happening. And, you know, you hear these people on gun control and all this stuff. What's happening here? What's happening to these poor people that are these poor children that are being abused and killed? Not to mention the 2.5 million on the street.
It's part of the government's job to monitor. You know, there's every time that child abuse is reported, they should take these kids away from those people, but they don't do it.
They don't do it. Yeah,
the courts give them back to the mothers,
time after
and eventually they kill them.
They kill them. Yeah.
And then the same thing happens in abuse with the wives that are being abused.
Yeah.
And they do nothing about it. And sometimes the husbands go back in, they've got a restraining order, and they still kill them.
Sure. Or they bring a boyfriend in.
Or they drop the restraining order and say, he's okay now.
Yeah, he's fine now. And
no.
They end up with a dead child.
Can't happen.
Yeah, and that's what I'm mad as hell about. I see we have our guest here now.
Yeah, and he's mad as hell, too. Come on in.
Come on over here.
Billy Lee Kelly.
Right.
That's a good...
yeah, that's a good name. Hi, Billy. I'm Greg.
I think that's from Germany, isn't it? No. Come on in and sit down and tell us what you're mad as hell about. We'll give you your headset. Let's see if that's... Okay, Billy.
Mad as hell about everything.
Everything.
My biggest gripe is our politicians.
Move up a little bit closer to our mic.
Politicians, because they are supposed to be in our interest in doing what is good for us. We have a constitution that they don't follow. They've thrown it out. My biggest gripe is the Second Amendment. The right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. What that is doing is reinstating the right that we can bear arms to protect ourselves, our property, and they're taking it away from us. It says, shall not be infringed, which means it cannot be touched. Okay, Constitution is the supreme law of the land. But we also have federal statute laws, one of them which says that if 2 or more people conspire to deprive you of your right, they are committing a crime and they can go to jail. Look at what our senators are doing. There's more than 2 of them that are taking our rights away from us. But they've passed a law. Now, there's another federal law that states that if an officer deprives you of your rights under the color of law, he's committed a crime and he can go to jail.
You mean if he takes away my weapon?
That's right. If he takes away your gun,
yeah, but
he can go to jail.
If I go to court, they're going to send me to jail. You know that.
I know that.
But, that's why I can't believe that these are so restrictive. And I think that's why people are mad as hell all over the country.
Sure.
And are voting for people like Bernie Sanders, But, of course, he's a socialist, and they don't believe in having guns available to everybody else, do they?
None of you socialists will go for that.
Yeah.
And 100 of them have it, and that's it.
Even your Germans were against private control of guns.
Sure. Of course.
Hitler, in one of his speeches, said that people were stupid, government people were stupid if they allowed the people to keep their guns.
Of course.
Well, yeah, they did the same
want
thing.
Control.
They say in Russia they did the same thing.
Well, Red China also.
Yeah,
sure.
So every single country out there, and even cities what did Chicago do? You're not allowed to own a gun.
That's right.
And yet they bring them in stolen weapons from other places, or they, people still have that, have guns.
Well,
the criminals do anyway.
Yeah, sure.
What gets me is that people are going through a spurt of apathy where they just don't pay attention to what's going on, that they don't follow what their politicians are doing. They just allow them to do whatever they want to do. And to me, that is a crime in itself.
Sure.
The people should stand up and say, hey, you can't do this. But they're not doing it.
Well, you got certain states that now they have more liberal policies of gun. You can open carry in Arizona. And you've got, I've got relatives who live in Arizona and say, hey, I carry my gun all the time. I don't have a problem with that.
Me and Amy went into a Denny's in Bullhead City, and I saw this guy come walking in, and he had a gun strapped on his hip.
Sure.
And from California, I turned to the waitress, and I said, the guy's got a gun. She says, oh, yeah, that's legal.
Yeah.
Why isn't it legal in California?
Well, and as I mentioned before, if we'd have had that policy here and the county building where we had 14 people murdered in a gun-free zone, that wouldn't have happened in Arizona because at least 5 people in that audience would have been carrying.
That's right.
You sent me a video from Texas, and some gal made a noise, a popping noise, and everybody in Texas was drawing down on the noise,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We got a break for a commercial now, and we'll be right back with Billy Lee Kelly, an advocate of no gun control.
That's right.
And the Constitution.
Right.
Listening to KCAA Loma Linda at 106.5 FM, K293CF Moreno Valley.
Money, money, money! Most of us need extra money. Well, if you own something of value, go to Rich's Jewelry and Loan in Ontario. He'll loan you money on jewelry, musical instruments, tools, electronics, and almost anything of value. Or if you prefer, he'll purchase the item from you. And if you need a great buy in diamonds or a Rolex watch, Rich can save you hundreds of dollars. Don't waste time. Go to Rich's Jewelry and Loan, 124 West Holt Boulevard in Ontario. Give Rich a call, 986-2604, and tell him what you'd like to sell or bring in for a loan.
Loans!
Rich's Jewelry and Loan, 124 West Holt Boulevard, Ontario.
Thanks for waiting. Lloyd and Greg are back.
Yeah, and Rich's, He told me he'd come on this program sometime.
Yeah, I tried. I talked to him this week, and he said he would come on.
Yeah,
And so we're gonna
really
get,
great guy. If you need to loan on anything of value that doesn't eat.
Yeah, that's right. It can't eat because he's not into that.
He doesn't take animals
horses or pigs.
You know, they do in Texas. And then in Louisiana, that guy who got a pawn shop down there, he takes in cows and chickens and anything of value. He said he doesn't care.
It doesn't matter.
But he has no place to keep these animals over there in Ontario.
Yeah.
He's right off of on Holt Boulevard, right off of Euclid.
Holt and Euclid there.
Rich's Jewelry and Loan. Go there.
Go there and see him. Say hi. Say we sent you.
Okay, back to Billy Lee Kelly. What's your background? Basically, you're a machinist?
Yeah, I'm a machinist. I've worked in the trade for, 30 years? No, 50 years.
So you can make a weapon?
Well, I have done that. I've worked in one place where we made 50 caliber rifles.
Hey.
We made one called the Wind Runner, which is a sniper rifle for the Marines.
Oh, yeah, that's the one that goes over a mile.
Yeah, they shoot over a mile effectively. Up in Reno, they have a large rock that has a target painted on it, and they set up 2 miles away. This is a club that shoots 50 caliber rifles, and they shoot 2 miles and hit the target.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. It's a large...
That's available to anybody?
Supposedly it's available to everyone. But
here in California?
No, not in California. California is a police state.
Yes.
And the whole thing is if you read the Constitution, they have what they call the Federalist Papers.
Yeah.
And in the Federalist Papers, it states that the people shall bear arms, and they shall be as good or better than the military.
Oh, yeah, well...
Yes. And what are they doing now? They're classifying so many weapons as military weapons. Well, what is the militia supposed to have? They're supposed to have everything, and who are the militia? The people.
The people,
That's right.
So, hey, we have a government, state, federal, that is trying to completely run our lives. They're trying to take our rights away from us. Hey, if you go into the courthouse, you have to be searched.
Yeah.
Isn't that a violation of your rights? Don't they have to have probable cause?
Sure.
Don't they have to have a warrant that states where, why, and what they're searching for? They don't have that.
Well, same thing at airports, you know.
Airports? Okay. That's a violation of your rights. And this one person...
Unless you have a certain ethnic group background, and then they're not searched, but they can
search. In
search...
case you fit the criteria, right?
Yeah.
Don't search them.
But they'll search an old grandma in a wheelchair in
Well,
a New York
Or a
second or a
red-headed
little
wife.
kid.
They searched my wife from head to toe.
Yep.
That's what happened to me and Amy.
Yeah.
We were flying to Texas. We went through the search deal that they had set up there. And then they called us over to one side. They took a wand and they went all over our bodies. They had us take our shoes off. Isn't that a violation of your rights? I mean, they used to have this camera that you had to walk through, and it would see no clothes on.
Oh, yeah. I saw that X-ray.
And they did away with that because there was such a squawk by the people.
Sure.
Okay. People need to be informed that it is criminal to deprive you of your rights to keep and bear arms. And who is going to provide it? The people here at the station are doing that. But the people need to get together and talk about it.
Yeah, they've got... If you've got any comments about that, give us a call locally, 909-888-5222.
Out of this area, 1-888-909-1050. Give us a call and let us know your views on this.
Yeah, because it's
a critical
an
issue.
ongoing thing.
That's right.
Which candidate you think best would be in favor of no gun control. Do you think?
I've
Right now.
listened to all of them, and
We know Hillary wants more.
well,
And just
let's not go to Hillary because her and Bill from Arkansas, when he was governor there was so many crimes committed in their name. There was even murder committed. And what came of that? It was all pushed under the rug.
yeah, I heard about that. That's but they say that's a conspiracy theory.
Well,
Yeah, they wrote it, though.
Yeah, oh, jeez. Yeah, that's true. But
They edited it.
what do you think about the Republican ticket? Who best would be?
don't ask me any of that question because I don't think there should be any party lines at all. Like Reagan said, there's neither a right nor a left. There's only an up or a down. So our government is either going to go up or it's going down, and I think it's almost at the bottom right now.
Yeah,
I am in agreement.
that's why people are so angry, and they can't be predicted on voting for anybody now. All these surveys are wrong.
Some of the really good ones are gone.
Oh, yeah. But, I
They never
just,
had a chance.
equal rights and things like that, and I've got something I'm mad as hell about here that I want to bring up.
Okay, good.
And this is ex-gardener from L.A. County gets $3.8 million.
Why?
Well, he's white, and that's kind of unusual.
Wow.
He's suing the city for, he said the worker accused the former supervisor of disparaging his skin color. And the L.A. City Council on Wednesday approved a multi-million-dollar payout to satisfy a court judgment in the racial discrimination lawsuit. So this is reverse discrimination.
Yeah.
He's Hispanic, and the gentleman is still working for the city. And he told him, point right out, he said, "I hate white people." And this gentleman, Abel Perez, is his supervisor, and he gave him some bad duties to do with no help. He gave him the worst jobs out there.
Oh, yeah.
And just, they constantly, and then when he got injured, they jumped on him again there. So this is reverse discrimination, $3.8 million, and I say, yeah.
Yeah, I do
Great.
too.
About time.
Bravo.
So there, and I'm mad as hell that had to happen.
Yeah.
And that guy is still working there.
Yeah, and the other
I'd
guy
have
is
fired
still
him
working.
in a New York second.
Sure.
But he's still there.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Also relating to the L.A. Times and Baca, the sheriff there, and I knew him quite well.
Okay.
He was on one of my committees when I worked for the Treasury Department.
Oh, okay.
And
So you had a-
he represented law enforcement.
Okay.
He was there, and nice guy,
Okay.
but he lied to the FBI.
Yeah, that was probably not a good
So
thing.
to cover his, what? And he was in charge of the jail, and they were abusing prisoners, and he knew about it. He said, "Oh, no, I don't know about that," but he does, and he did. And he said, "I'm sorry about that. I'm guilty of that." So they're going to give him 6 months in jail.
Oh, wow.
I'm sure he's not going to be in the general population.
No, they'll keep him locked away
He'll be in a
somewhere.
nice
Yeah,
little
I
cozy
agree.
area.
Sure.
But his retirement won't be touched. He makes $328,000 a year, and that's
And
forever.
that's set. That's covered. Okay.
What's really funny is
Right or wrong.
Amy is Japanese,
Mm-hmm.
and the word baka, which she calls me all the time, means stupid. And when I first saw that name, I thought, boy, they were stupid naming that.
Name that, huh?
Well, I think he was overall a pretty good sheriff, but he did,
He evidently fell into the trap. What about some of our politicians? And
Well,
lady ones.
I have friends that are police officers and federal agents, and they cover
Cover each other. They
yeah,
do.
of course.
Sure
You got
they
to
do.
watch their back. And he said, I know nothing about that when they really do.
Well, of course.
They knew what happened. They know all of these things.
Yeah.
But what else are you
Well, I'm just mad as
thinking
hell.
about it?
Yeah, I'm thinking about it a little bit. I don't have to think about it too much, but I'm thinking about it a little bit. I'm watching a lot of this political, like you said, this political garbage going on, the debates and what have you. One day, a a lady, you know who she is. She shouldn't be anywhere on this ticket. She should be in jail, but she's up there, making noise and winning caucuses, winning stuff by a narrow margin. She's down 20% to one of the other candidates, and then suddenly she's equal. How does that happen?
Some of this, and here's another article, came out this week, and he said, it says, for those of you who have not held top secret or above clearances, and I had a top secret clearance years ago.
Sure.
He said he's held SCI clearances during the latter portion of his 25-year naval career. And this guy says, this is L. Wade, and he has extensive investigation process required to clear holders for such trust. The investigative process is repeated at least every 2 years to ensure that those holding these very scarce SCI clearances are not vulnerable to blackmail or extortion due to money problems, extramarital affairs, alcohol, or drug discrepancies. Please understand that this is far more sensitive material than covered merely by top secret, and disclosure could mean grave damage to our national security and loss of lives. When politicians believe they are above the law and are lackadaisically in handling this information, we have a complete breakdown of this system of trust. Breaches of this type would result in a ruined career for a military person, loss of retirement benefits, and would likely result in long federal prison sentences.
Absolutely.
It is my sincere hope that each of you will share this article to help other Americans understand how grave Hillary Clinton's alleged SAP compromise is. We can't allow anyone so careless with the level of information to have access to any classified information ever again for as long as she lives. This would surely render her unqualified and unfit to hold any public office, let alone President of the United States, if this allegation proves to be true.
And that's something I am mad as hell about. Why? Why could she even be on the ticket? Why?
I brought that to Hannity's attention the other day. In fact, I wrote, this was on Fox News, and I wrote to him, and I said, look, I worked for the Treasury of the United States, the Bureau of Public Debt, not the IRS.
Not the IRS, okay.
My boss, who was the big boss at the time, was Treasurer of the United States.
Sure.
Her name appears on all your currency.
2 minutes.
And she's the only treasurer of the United States to go to jail. And I wrote this down. I said, she used government employees for her personal use.
Okay.
In fact, I was one of them, and the FBI
talked to you,
talked to me. But she also is income tax evasion. There were several charges. She pled guilty to 3 and was given 4 months in jail and then 6 months home detention with an ankle bracelet, and then 6 years probation.
Okay.
And she did far less than what Hillary Clinton did.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, bring this up, I said on Fox News, because I said, people have forgotten about that. And that was Catalina Vasquez Villalpando was her name.
I remember that.
Wikipedia. You'll see all of that.
Yeah, that's why people have all these accesses to all this research about these people. They don't use them. Why?
Yeah, I don't know. We got a break for a commercial now. We'll be right back.
Sounds good.
So,
is it that time your car needs a smog check? Well, check out Quick Smog Check in Montclair. They guarantee your vehicle will pass or you pay not a thing. That's right. If it doesn't pass the test, what the heck, you don't have to pay. So what's the reason why you're not calling them? The number 909-626-5436. You can also drive right down there now. 5438 Holt Boulevard in Montclair. They're open 9 to 5, 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. Do it now. No-wait smog checks at Quick Smog Check in Montclair. 909-626-5436.
Just when you thought you couldn't wait any longer, Lloyd and Greg are back.
We had to remind the people that to listen to KCAA 1050 AM and now 106.5 FM. So, and I forgot about my smog check. I couldn't get the car started that I wanted to have checked. So
Oh, no.
I'll be down there.
Yeah, John. We'll be there.
Yeah.
At least Lloyd will.
But here, getting back to this security, as I say, people would go to jail. There's very few people that could even read that. There's admirals and generals that don't have the clearance to read the information that was on her server.
That's what I understand.
And yet employees of hers saw that.
Yeah.
She sent it to different people. I mean,
Everybody's seen it. I mean,
and she says the other day that nothing's going to come of this. It's just a routine, check, a security check. That's
security
what she said.
check, yeah.
Yeah, that's what the
Well, she didn't
FBI
pass
does.
it. What do they do when you don't pass a
Once
security
you're
check?
investigated by the FBI, it's not just a normal security check.
And when you don't pass it, what do? You get a pat on the back. You get the presidency.
This is hurting her tremendously in the polls because they said Bernie Sanders has so much. They said they trust him 100%. Her trust has gone down to 5%.
Well, that's more than I'd give her.
And she said, "But I got the woman vote. I got the young women vote, and I got the black
Young women,
vote.
listen to this. Don't vote there.
And I got the black vote tied up."
Yeah, she
'Cause
did
I've
that.
always
Did
been out
that
there
in
to
this last
just,
debate. Did you see how she praised our president?
Well, I'd like to have them bring up when she was running against Obama. Some of the things she said about him.
Play them, replay them.
They don't want to hear that.
No, heck
and
no.
I'd like to see the transcript of those speeches she gave to Wall Street.
Yeah, that would be good, huh?
Yeah. See about that. What else are you mad as hell about, Billy?
Sounds like I'm mad as hell about the world. Gun control, our politicians, and the way they handle that. Also, income tax. I've heard a couple of politicians say that they would go for a flat income tax. That's illegal if they even propose it.
Well, I know.
Because a tax has to be specific. It has to be on a activity or a product. Okay? Most people don't even understand why they're paying income tax.
Well, otherwise they'll go to jail if they don't.
Well, that's true too.
Fact,
but when they say income tax, you're not paying on income tax. It has to be on an activity or an event. Income tax is merely a means of measuring what you supposedly have to pay. What Congress has to do, and Congress is the only one that can write a tax law.
That's right.
And they have to specify exactly what the tax is on. Like a machinist. Do I have to have a license to be a machinist? No. Is that taxable? No.
Okay.
But yet I'm paying tax on it. Why? Because if I don't, the IRS will send me to jail. But it's not a taxable activity. A taxable activity has to be where you have to have a license to perform it.
Well, I know people that haven't filed taxes in years.
That's right.
And nothing happened.
That's right. There was Otto Skinner used to stand out in front of the IRS office when taxes were due and say, "I don't pay income tax, arrest me." They would walk around him. They would ignore him. They wouldn't do a thing to him.
I know several things like that. When I was state director for Treasury in New Mexico, we had several IRS offices raided and taxes destroyed and everything else. But,
yeah.
And they do that periodically at different centers throughout the United States to just rebel against that. But what happened to,
Yeah, I remember they did put blood or something on them or destroyed a whole bunch. And
what was the original Tea Party about?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, it goes back a long ways, for sure.
But, they've come up with so many every year they're coming up with new forms, new taxes, just like this Obamacare. Now you got 5 new forms to put on Obamacare, and that's ridiculous. I mean,
Sure.
it's just, these people don't even know how to fill them out. And they said it's going to take an hour to 2 hours more when you have your taxes filed. That means more money that you're going to have to pay. And I mean, already, I know people are paying $500-$600 for their taxes at the normally it costs maybe $125.
Yeah, I know. I found out after we talked last week about Obamacare. I found out somebody's really happy with Obamacare.
Well, I know several
they're really
people that
happy
are.
because they had a $2,000 premium on their regular policy, and one of the kids wasn't covered. They got Obamacare. They pay $700 a month now. All the kids are covered, and they got better coverage on the same company they were paying $2,000.
Yeah, but what is their
for.
deductible when they have to use it?
Yeah,
that's the key.
That's the catch. Yeah.
And I think you can.
Oh,
that's the one. Huh?
don't come
Go
to
there.
me about deductibles. You go down to get a prescription, and sure, you pay your deductible, which is reasonable, and then suddenly they have, hey, you're in the donut zone. You got to pay premium for it now.
What is a donut zone? I haven't heard of
I
that.
have never. I didn't hear it until this one druggist told me. Oh, well, your deductible doesn't cover this now because blah blah blah. So you're in the donut. What's the donut? That means you're in the hole where you have to pay. Your deductible
Oh, my
no
God.
longer covers it. So I'm a diabetic, and I go down to get my insulin, and they say, well, we're sorry, but your insurance won't cover it right now. Why not? Well, you got to wait 2 months before it'll be covered again.
What if somebody has no income? They have to go without it,
Yeah.
right?
That's right. I've gone in there, and they've told me before that, okay, you've got a $300 bill for your medicine. I says, what's this, and this? I says, no, take that off. I'm not getting that. Well, the doctor prescribed it. I can't afford it. Take it off. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
I'm not like the government. I don't spend
can't print
money
money, right?
that I don't have.
That's right.
Well,
Well-
that's not money. Now, that's another thing I'm
script,
very
yeah.
upset about.
I figured that.
The Constitution gives the government the right to coin money, not to print it. And it forbids the state to make anything but gold and silver, tender, and payment. Okay, that right there is counterfeiting and fraud.
Yeah.
Every coin that you have in your pocket is a counterfeit coin. It's not gold
It's a
and silver.
promise.
No, it's not even a promise. You used to get a promissory note that
and
was
silver,
legal.
yeah.
And you could go down to the bank and say, okay, I want this
that
in
in
silver.
silver.
I want this in gold.
Yeah.
They would have to give it to you. Well, suddenly they took that off the notes, and it's a Federal Reserve note. It's not a government note.
That's true. That's true.
And, well, no, that's not worth any silver or anything. Then what is it? It's a worthless piece of paper because it's been printed on.
That's right, but we negotiate that all the time. But just
Absolutely.
just like the shells they used to use before printed money.
Well, that's
Just
true, too.
Things like that. Anything of value.
But
Bitcoins.
this is something that's written into the Constitution, and it cannot be taken out except by a legislative action.
We've got to change all of these systems, and as they say, it's going to hell in a handbasket. And the whole, talking about Obamacare, that doctor friend of ours was talking about a drug that would keep this gal alive. It costs $2,000 a month,
Yeah.
and she has cancer.
Yeah.
Couldn't afford it.
Couldn't afford
so,
it,
I
right.
mean, the only other option is you die.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's just like
this
Steve
is not
McQueen.
affordable care.
Steve
And-
McQueen had to go down to Mexico to get his
Or
medicine.
Canada.
Yeah.
We get medicine from
And he
Canada.
finally died from cancer because he couldn't get the proper medicine.
Sure.
We have the medicine, but it's not approved by the FDA. And I don't see where the FDA is listed in the Constitution.
Well,
In other words, why do we have it?
I have one of my doctors is on a medication for pain, and I guess he injured his leg or something like that. And he says the medication they uses is he was getting it from China at a very reasonable price, and he said they stopped they stopped manufacturing it. They can't export it anymore. And he says it's $1,500 a month now for him, and he's a doctor.
And well, mine would
Talk
be
about.
mine would be $4,500 if I could take the correct medicine for my pain, and what I'm paying now is $100 a month. But it's a drug that I might not have been able to take. I was lucky I could take it because I had an allergic reaction.
Well, like
before.
this guy that jacked up his prices 5,000%.
Sure.
My God, the drug didn't change. Only the company changed, and
Only
he
the
said
company.
We need to make more money.
Yeah.
So that's
the
you
whole
got to
thing
stop
right
the
there.
greed of these pharmaceutical corporations, and we have to readjust Obamacare or do away with it completely.
Yeah,
there's some good points in there, but there's also a lot of bad things.
But it's all the way
about it.
unworkable. We need to revamp it into something new, something different.
That is workable, because what happens if you're homeless? You
Yeah.
have no address.
That's right.
You have no insurance.
No insurance
You
at
go
all.
to
You have
county
no
hospital.
income.
Or if you're mentally ill, you don't know about anything,
You don't know
and you're
about
going to
anything.
die.
That's right.
Because nobody diagnoses you.
That's right.
So these are problems that the generation, our future generation, are going to have. My kids, my grandkids, and everything else.
We've laid it on them, haven't we?
It's all these problems. That's why America's mad as hell.
That's right. But we're trying to correct it.
And we're not going to take it any longer.
We're not going to take it any longer. Not here.
We're going to do something
At
about it.
least we can get out and talk to the people and
right.
say,
That
this
hasn't
is
been
my
taken
view,
yet.
this is what I'm mad as hell about.
And vote.
And vote, please.
Yeah, and vote for the right people, not just because, hey,
Because
like
they're
I
pretty.
said, because it's my party and I can't go against
I can't
them.
go there.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Or they're pretty, or they're
Vote for the
handsome, or
person and what they believe
Dig in,
for
find out who they
America.
And what about all these debates? What if you don't want to get up and debate, but you want to run for president?
Yeah.
Can
You
you,
have no
do
choice.
that, or do you
No,
have
no.
to go
No.
through a debate
Well-
system?
I would think you have to go
You
through
saw
a debate
somebody
system.
who opted not to debate one time, and
They got him.
their
That's right.
percentages
They put
went
him right in the
down.
hole,
So,
sure.
yeah, damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yes,
Yeah,
right.
you don't get the newspaper coverage, you don't get the radio, television
Sure.
coverage. You're a non-entity.
That's right.
Well, a poor person can't run for president.
No.
Why not?
Well, you just don't have the funds.
That's right.
You're voted out of existence because you
Quickly.
can't afford the media. I was going to go into data mining today, which is, we'll save that for another time.
Okay,
but
good.
that's totally unfair. But all these politicians that succeed in getting elected will do data mining.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And they showed Cruz out there doing data mining. You know,
That's sad.
he was over there and he said, I can't go to that house. That's Democrats.
Yeah.
This is an independent. We're going to go there and try to see if we can change their mind. And we know about this one. So they've already known.
Who they
So
need.
when they call you on the phone and ask for this information, say no.
They know.
'Cause
Yeah, they
you're
know
going to
that-
be, they're going to sell it. They said,
Sure.
this is not going to cost you anything. We're just doing a survey.
Yeah.
Or they're doing a survey online. All that information is sold. You know, so, and there's a lot of times, if you could win a car, you could win $25,000 if you take this survey. Okay, there's $25,000, but there's 1 million people that take that survey and they sell it for $1 each.
Right. So
That's pretty good return on your
that's a big
investment,
return.
right?
Big return. Anyway, next week we should have update on ISIS and the Syrians and what have you. A couple of folks that were here before responded.
come back,
They want to come
yeah.
back next week and share with us.
Thank you, Billy Lee Kelly.
It's been a
Thank you.
pleasure.
Come back
Billy,
anytime.
Thank you.
Yep.
Boy.
And we'll see you next week. Have a happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, happy Valentine's to everybody.
Yeah. We love you all.
We love you all.
We love you all.
This is 1050 AM, KCAA Loma Linda, and 106.5 FM, Yucaipa.
Your NBC Sports Radio update starts now.
NBA All-Star Week in Toronto. We start there. So we got the slam dunk contest. That probably highlights Saturday night, but also the skills challenge and the three-point shooting contest as well. One of the heavy